How do we get in the best shape of our lives is a question I've been thinking a lot about lately. And what I've realized in the last 15 years of working out is how we get in the best shape of our lives happens when we no longer treat working out or moving as something we do to achieve short-term goals, like lose weight or put on muscle. Rather, we need to integrate movement as a regular lifestyle change in our lives to be able to experience the benefits long term. Because what I've realized is if we stop moving, we just go back to the lowest point we've been before. I realized this recently when about a couple of months ago I went for a run, and I don't really run that often, but a couple of months ago I went for a run, and it was probably a few months since I ran, and I had forgotten how to run. Like, how does that even happen? What it looked like is I went for a run expecting to do a good 20 minutes or so, and I could only do about 2 to 5. And it wasn't like I was out of breath. It was more like my whole body hurt, and not in a good way. And it felt like I had just forgotten kind of like the movement pattern. And that really freaks me out because I'm 31. How is a 31-year-old supposed to have forgotten how to run? Has my desk job been so persistent in my life that I've forgotten this very basic... Like when you look at kids in the playground and you see them running, you're thinking there is nothing more human, nothing more natural for that kid to do. And maybe if I was 81, you could say, well, but not when I'm still supposed to be growing. And I'm someone who considers himself to be, above average fitness. I've hosted street fitness societies before. I've been the kind of guy who goes to the gym at 5:45 in the morning, who has half a kilogram of steak for breakfast. Like these really kind of extreme things. And yet I went back down to my lowest point. And I really don't want for us to be the kind of people who are saying, back in my day, I was fit. Back in my day, I was a coach. I want us to be able to say, I'm in the best shape that I've been yet. Or I'm the picture of health. And the way we do that is by making it long term. How we go about doing that would mean just making movement a habit. It's something that's automatic, something we don't think about. In the morning when I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm not even thinking about being awake yet. I just know to pick up that toothbrush and to start brushing my teeth. So, and the only way we can do that is by picking a movement, an exercise, a sport, which we can do consistently over the long term. Like, think about decades rather than weeks or months. Obviously, this means we have to enjoy it, because if we don't enjoy it, it's out. If we're ever forcing ourselves, it's not going to stick. And we might manage to force ourselves for even months, but that's why I'm saying, think about it in terms of decades. Another thing that's important when you're picking the kind of activity you're going to do is that there's as little barriers of you performing that activity as possible. What I mean by barriers is, if you're going to the gym, you going to the gym is already one hurdle that you need to cross before you're even doing that activity. So it's kind of like you're not at the gym going, should I pick up that weight? You're still at home thinking, should I get in the car? Other things would be, if your favorite sport, the one you love the most is windsurfing, but you don't live near the sea, then odds are you're not going to be able to stick with it. And similarly, some sports, like we need ideal weather for, cycling, for example. And of course, it matters where you live. Like if you live in Spain, it's probably a great activity. But if you don't, like right now it's raining, I wouldn't really be going cycling in this weather. So finding that activity is what we need to do. And then something that helps us a little bit, a mindset I think that helps us, is realizing that although our goal, the reason we're doing this is so we can look good and feel good, that's not really what we should focus on, because that's not our job. Our job is not to look good and feel good. That's luckily our body's job. That's what our body rewards. When we were cavemen, our body rewards us going out there and traveling and exploring and looking for food so that we can keep doing it. But now we're almost a different kind of caveman, and we need to force ourselves to find movement in our lives, because now it's something that's optional for many people. We can even have food come directly to our door. So where is your excuse for moving? And to go back to how this can be a benefit is that our job is not to look good and feel good. Our job is just to move. It's to find time. That's really the focus. And it's working enough already. But if we just focus on finding that time where we can put in that movement, where we could schedule that movement, even when our lives are undulating and unpredictable, then our body will take care of the rest. And the last thing I can offer you is, along this path, this long-term path, we need to be armed with a mindset to support us. And the mindset is putting ourselves first. And we should put ourselves first because the work is never finished. When I was a kid, my mom taught me that I should do my homework first, and then I can play and do the fun stuff. So in a way, stop procrastinating, finish the work first, and then whatever's left you can enjoy. However you want to enjoy it. And that's a really good thing to teach kids, but I think as adults, we should really rethink this to see if it still serves us, because I find that if I'm ever waiting for the moment when I've finished all the work, it's just never going to happen. We're so connected these days with our devices and smartphones that there's always one more message to reply to. There's always one more notification popping up. Always one more bit of content. And this is just the stuff on our phones alone, not even adding our jobs and the stuff we have to do around the house. So either we're first on that list of priorities or we're not on the list. And why we should put ourselves first is because all the other priorities are going to benefit from us fitting in our movement, fitting in our human requirements, if you will. Because we're at our best when we're happiest. We're the best communicators. We're most efficient and productive is when we first address the human inside us. So there is no shortcut to getting in the best shape of our lives and staying in the best shape of our lives. It's probably going to look like a lifetime struggle of learning to prioritize ourselves first. But what I've seen is that the more we do it, the easier it becomes. The first step is to realize that we are at our best when we've moved, when we've had some exercise, when we've raised our heart rate a little bit. And the second step is to find a way how to walk this path long term. When it comes to the second step, I've done my very best and I've put a lot of effort in creating a course which is designed to hit all the points I was talking about in the last few minutes. The first 3 weeks of it are free, and I really encourage you to check it out. It's designed to be really easy to start. The first exercises are only 2 minutes a day, which is removing some of those hurdles to us beginning and starting to let us develop a habit of doing it regularly. It's all bodyweight exercises, so you don't need to be in a certain place or have certain equipment. You can just go for it. You don't need perfect weather conditions. And along the way, I'm guiding you for those people who need that little bit of motivation. They need kind of a group or a community or someone to do it with them. So I'm doing the workouts with you and sharing with you this philosophy I have of putting ourselves first, which I hope is encouraging. Yeah, there's going to be some links probably in the comments or description. I'd love to know what you think of it. Thank you for listening and good luck on the path.